Thomas, as far as I know, you haven't spoken to your daughter since 2018, around the time of the wedding, when you went into hospital.
That's
and you
correct.
weren't able to walk her down the aisle. This is, you know, one of the first times you've sort of been able to hear how angry she is, it appears, with you and what happened in the run-up to the wedding. She talks about it in terms of betrayal. What was your reaction when you heard her talk to Oprah like that?
Well, like I said, this is actually the first time I've heard her speak in 4 years, about 4 years. The last time we spoke, we didn't speak, we actually texted each other. I was laying in a hospital bed after having a heart attack. And I had to tell them that I couldn't come to the wedding. At that point, we pretty much said goodbye. Actually, it wasn't quite saying goodbye. Harry had said to me at that point, if you had listened to me, this wouldn't have happened to you. And me laying in a hospital bed after I've had a procedure and getting a stent put here and a stent put here, felt that was kind of snotty, so I hung up on him. And that's the last conversation we ever had.
Thomas, you've never met Harry. You've never met your grandson, Archie. Right. I mean, it's an extraordinarily sad family situation, putting aside the fact there's royalty involved and everything else. How do you feel about this?
Well, I'm very disappointed about it. I don't think that. I mean, I've apologized about this thing, what happened, at least 100 times or so. Bottom line is, I've never heard back from Meghan or Harry in any way, shape, or form. When they say that I'm marrying and taking advantage of the press, well, basically what I do, because I haven't heard from them, is I'll do a story for the press. If I don't hear from them in 30 days, then I'll do another story for the press. And I've yet to hear from them.
Thomas...
I would love to hear from them.
Of course.
And they would say, Thomas, why do you keep talking to the press? What's your response to that?
Because they're not talking to me.
The story...
when they decide to talk to me, I'll stop talking to the press.
Okay. The story that appears to have caused the rift was you making a deal with a photographer to have photographs of you put into the public domain, which painted, in your view, you in a better light, researching royal palaces, being measured up for a suit. And it seems that what Meghan is saying is she asked you at the time, did you do that? Because their issue was the way they were being covered, their privacy being invaded, trying to protect everybody around them and make sure that the press only had limited access. She says in the interview that she asked you, did you do that? And that you didn't admit to doing it. Why weren't you honest with her about what
Can I tell my side now?
Of course you can.
Okay, well, my oldest daughter was contacted by a man named Jeff Rayner, who was a photographer, who said, if you can convince your dad, we can make him look good. For a year, an entire year, every day I walked out of my house, somebody was taking photographs of me. I couldn't go anywhere or do anything without being photographed buying something, coming out of a store. And God forbid I'm buying beer for the guys at the guard gate. Everybody knows I don't drink, but I bought beer for the guys at my guard gate. And they were making me an alcoholic. They were calling me names. They were talking about the way I dressed. So yes, I went for this deal where this man was going to make me look better. Maybe I got sucked into it. But I believed him, and I thought it was going to work. It didn't work, of course. When it was exposed, I called him. I said, "What's happening?" You know, bottom line is he's supposed to have been a great distance away from me shooting on long lens. He actually walked into most of the scenes. So I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Don't worry, I've taken care of this many times. I'll make you look great." Well, they waited till 3 days before the marriage and released the photos. When that happened, I called him and I said, "What's going on? What are we doing? How'd this happen? What do I do?" He said, "Just deny it, go away in 1 day." It didn't go away. Hasn't gone away yet.
So when Meghan said to you, have you done that? Have you set those photographs up? Did you discuss that with her?
I denied it. I denied it.
You denied it to your daughter?
Yes.
Do you wish that you'd done something differently now? Because the way that she speaks about it,
Well, I
she was
wish I
hurt by
hadn't.
that.
I wish I hadn't done the whole thing. But here's the other side of this coin. I mean, it's like no one took any time to protect any member of our family. We were attacked by the press every day. My oldest daughter, my son, myself, our grandchildren, all of us were attacked by the press. Nobody was there to care for us. Nobody looked after us.
When you saw Thomas...
I was actually told that...
When you saw Meghan talking about the lack of help she got from Buckingham Palace, did that resonate with you that you yourself and your family got no real help in how to deal with the whirlwind that came your way?
Exactly. No one helped us. And then I saw a headline that said they recommended to Harry and Meghan that someone come and help me, someone come and take care of me. And Meghan and Harry denied that and said, "Don't do it." So I was left out to dry. And in spite of all that, I still apologize. I'm apologizing today again. But here again, and I also said we all make mistakes. I also said we all make mistakes, but I've never played naked pool, and I've never dressed up like Hitler. Now, of course, I'm sure that made Meghan get really angry with me, but that's how I felt at the time.
And Thomas, obviously we all know about this letter that she sent you, which then appeared in the Mail on Sunday. She's just won a court action against the Mail on Sunday for publishing that letter. What do you want to say about that?
I'm the one who released the letter, a part of the letter. And that was because a magazine was doing a story about me. Meghan's friends were telling a story about me that were mostly lies. And after reading these things, these lies, I said I have to retaliate. And by retaliating, I released part of the letter. I didn't release the whole letter. Had I done that, you would have seen something that was well, horrible. I had held that letter for 6 months, and I was going to destroy it. It was so bad.
Really? What, something that Meghan said to you?
Yes. A lot of things that were said to me. The word love was never in the letter for me. Although the people in the magazine said that she reached out to me with love and wanted to get back together, that wasn't the letter at all. That wasn't what it was intended to do.
Thomas, you took care of Meghan on your own for years. You know, she came and lived with you.
Yes.
For a long time. A long time. And now you're completely estranged. And, of course, there is an irony that they've now been doing a series of interviews and pictures to promote their own image and make lots of money out of that, you know, in different ways. What do you feel about that, that you were basically pilloried and shamed for doing, by them, for what they are now doing to promote their own image?
Exactly. I've been pushed around and knocked down for one thing I did, for one big mistake I made, and I've apologized for it as many times as I possibly can. However, I love my daughter very much. Had I known she was having psychological problems, I would have been there for her. Biggest problem here is she's pretty much ghosted all of her family, on her mother's side and my side. So, you know, she really had no one to reach out to. She would have had us if she'd kept us.
Okay, because that's, I mean, as her father, and you know, everyone knows that you're currently estranged, but watching your daughter describe that she had the darkest thoughts while she was pregnant and didn't get the help she needed, that must have really hurt.
Well, it really did upset me. Like I said, she could have. It would have been easy for her to reach out to me or any of the rest of her family, who she claims she doesn't know. But the other thing is that I would think that she could turn to her husband.
Well, she says she did turn to her husband, and her husband cradled her, looked after her, held her hand, was by her side, and clearly supported her.
Well, okay. Obviously not supported her that well.
Do you think that you are going to be able to mend your relationship with
The bottom
Meghan?
line is, you know, she didn't lose me. You know, she made a statement saying she lost me. She didn't lose me. I would have always been there for her. I'm there for her now if she wants me. But it's been a long time. This thing about the press and so forth, I've done maybe about six articles for the press. And as everyone knows, every other little newspaper takes those articles and suddenly it's 100 articles. But I've never done that many. I do it only every 30 days.
What did you feel, Thomas, about the content of the interview that didn't involve you, the serious allegations against the royal family, the personal attacks on Prince Charles, on the Duchess of Cambridge, on the monarchy, on the institution? It's being seen as a real attack on the monarchy driven by your daughter and Prince Harry.
I have great respect for the royals, and I don't think the British royal family are racist at all. I don't think the British are racist. I think Los Angeles is racist, California is racist, but I don't think the Brits are. The thing about what color will the baby be, or how dark will the baby be, I'm guessing and hoping it's just a dumb question from somebody. You know, it could just be that simple. It could be somebody asked a stupid question rather than being a total racist.